Hey guys, it's your girl Samantha here, and today I wanted to report a news story that I just heard on YouTube, and I want to say it's like a sad story, but I kind of have not the probably popular reaction here. So let me go ahead and jump into it, and then I'll talk about what I'm feeling right now. So it says a 21-year-old dead, one hospitalized after head-on crash near Athens. So this is in Henderson County, Texas. One woman died and a man was hospitalized after a head-on crash near Athens in Henderson County. On Thursday, Texas Department of Public Safety troopers were called to a two-vehicle crash on State Highway 19 around 7 miles south of Athens. Troopers responded to the crash at 9:17 p.m. where they determined 21-year-old Olivia Popham of Bay City was driving her 2017 Nissan Sentra south on State Highway 19. DPS said Popham crossed over the center line and hit a Ford pickup head-on. Popham died at the scene. The driver of the pickup, 33-year-old Travis Pittman of Winona, was taken to a local hospital in Athens. The investigation is ongoing, according to DPS. So, apparently, this young mother of two, she had been posting statuses on Facebook, I guess having a cry for help, and nobody really heeded her cry. No, I don't think people knew how serious it really was. And so this is sad. It is sad. And I want to try to find a little bit more information from you guys. It's going to show like the post and everything. 1 second. So here she is here. This is on Newsbreak. I don't know how I missed this. That happened 4 days ago. Well, they published this 4 days ago. Alright, so it looked like she got some message on Facebook that she posted. Well, she posted a message that she got on her phone. She submitted, I guess, like, uploaded a screenshot of her phone. And it says, "Hello, Miss Popham." And she's saying, "Who is this?" And it says, "I am contacting you on behalf of your children." Then she puts question mark, and they say, "Please give me a brief phone call in the next 10 minutes. And then she says, "Who is this?" And then they say, "If we do not receive a phone call, we will be showing up to Stewart Street." I don't even know what none of that means. And then they said, she says, "Okay, you can come because that sounded very unprofessional. Anyway, so you must be coming to fight. If you thought you was finna to do take kids away from me that I'd feed and I take care of, boy, who is this playing on my phone?" So then last month they said she also wrote, "If anything ever happens to me, do not give my kids to their dad permanently, because if while I was alive you couldn't help take care of them, then why wait till I'm gone?" So this is just, it's really sad. But the thing I want to say is this. Okay, so first of all, this girl does not look like she's African American. She looks like she might be biracial. And this kind of goes in line with Cynthia's teaching. So it sounds like this young lady got the same black eye that black women get. And her youngest child, I want to say the youngest one has he looks like he might have been mixed with like Hispanic of some sort. Because his hair is like straighter, he's a little bit lighter, his features look a little different. Like a little less black than her older son. But first of all, ladies, I want to say this. And they look, there's some foundations here. The Loveland Foundation, Therapy for Black Girls, and Black Girls Smile Inc. that are few charities. But let me say this, y'all. First of all, you got to be stronger out here if you're going to have children. Children are not an accessory. It's not a game. There's so many things you can do to avoid having children before you even get pregnant. And then even if you get pregnant, you can still have an abortion. But she's in Texas, so that thing just came out. So she could have probably gotten an abortion still after the 6 weeks, because that 6 weeks law just happened. But I'm gonna shoot straight from the hip, guys, because you guys know I like to tell y'all the truth. So I just feel like, you definitely should not be having children that young. You mentally cannot deal with it. You're just way too young. Your brain's not even fully developed. I just don't believe that you have the capacity. If you don't have a good support system at any age, raising kids is difficult. So I cannot, like, when you're that young, you really are just not going to be able to do that and get out of it alive. Like, and I'm not saying that to be like funny or anything, but it's really hard to be a mom. Like, I remember being a mom of two young boys, and I was a little bit older than her, and even with me having a husband, not having to work, it was still very isolating and very lonely. And I didn't have a good support system at the time. My husband had to get deployed, so he was gone for like a really long time, so I was just by myself day in, day out with the kids, and I promise you I was losing it. And so with that being said, like, it's difficult. It's difficult because a lot of people probably like, why didn't she get help, etc., etc. But it's really hard to go get help on your own when you're in the middle of the depression. It's hard to have the wherewithal to know to get help, and then you don't even know where you can go get help. You don't know what you can afford. You don't know what resources are available to you for mental health. So it's really a matter of, like, if you see people having these messages that they're posting on Facebook, I hope somebody was responding at least and telling her, like, why don't you call the 1-800-crisis hotline for suicide, suicide prevention. They would definitely have put her in touch with the right people to prevent this to try to help her prevent this from happening. I know when I was going through my depression and I was in my early 20s, I was scared to get help because I thought they would take my kids from me. So I don't know. That's why mothers probably won't get help, because if they think I'm crazy, they're going to take the kids away. But I really don't think that states want to take your kids away, to be honest. And even if they do take the kids, sometimes it might be better for you to just throw caution to the wind and go get yourself some help. And they might have to take the kids temporarily. I'm not saying they're going to, but even if they did, that's better than you not being around anymore because you didn't get any help at all, and now you're gone permanently, and your children now have to grow up without a mother. I'm trying to think of everything I want to say, because this story to me didn't have to happen. I hate seeing women who are suffering, and the only reason why I'm not feeling more sympathetic for this young lady is because I feel like I feel like as a black woman, I grew up way into my young womanhood, and it was just like constantly like biracial women, black guys, constantly saying they're better than black women, white women going on Facebook talking about this is how you treat your man when you're with the black guy. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, how are you telling us how to treat a black guy when we're black? And it's just the humiliation and the constant, it's traumatic. It's been traumatic. And now that I've been listening to Cynthia and I kind of understand a lot of where things are coming from with black male pathology and understanding it a bit more, like, it makes me even more colder when I look at women who are not black women, because I feel like as a black women suffer a lot mentally and physically at the hands of our own partners a lot of times, but just like all over just everywhere. We can go outside and, like, I just read a story about 3 black women who got shot. One was not even the target, but she's dead, a mother of 2, young mother of 2 as well. And so it's like black women have so much violence put against our bodies and against us, and we just deal with so much negativity on a daily basis. We get no favor anywhere, not even from our own men. So it's really hard for me to dig deep within and feel sorry for, someone who's not a black woman who couldn't take it, because I feel like everybody just treats us like crap. And it's like, but one thing, we don't ever get, basically black women, we never get like anybody lifting us up. The only people I've seen lifting us up recently has been like a white guy, and it was a non-black woman. She was, I think, Hispanic or Latina. So that was probably rare, because I've seen more women, Latinas and everybody, putting black women down than lifting us up. And I think people are finally starting to see what the real problem is in the black community. And that's why they're now speaking out in support of black women. But for me being almost 40, I mean, it's almost like too little too late. It's like I've already been shaped and molded and traumatized over almost 4 decades of this country's telling me I'm not good enough. Just constantly, just everywhere I look, I go on TV, everybody's blonde, the love interest is blonde or she's biracial. It's like I just been constantly been bombarded everywhere I look with people telling me I'm not good enough. I remember one time I was on Facebook and I posted something to uplift myself and just to uplift black people, and I was like, I'm mixed with African American and African, or African American and Kenyan, or something like that. And I was just like being like funny about it, but I was like proud of it too, because I knew my background finally. And this black guy that I went to school with, he said, nah, you just black. He said something along those lines, and it was hurtful. It's like you came to my wall in a public space that is online so everyone in the world can see it, including my family members, my friends, and you did that to just to come put me down. Like, I've never probably ever said a mean word to you. I don't even really know you. I've seen him around school, but I didn't know him like that. And I actually probably would have thought, I actually thought he was a cute guy, but that behavior was ugly. And it wasn't until I got older, like once I really got older and just realized like how much black males worship whiteness. And so when I went to his page, he was with a white girl and like all they biracial kids. And I'm from Manassas, Virginia. And if y'all look at the demographics there, like they have so many biracial people that live there. Like every black guy there is running after a Becky. And I had to get out of there. I had to leave and never look back. Even though it's like one of the more affordable places to live, I couldn't even consider it because it's so traumatic for me to be back in that environment. So like now when I see, if I see going through that as a girl up to young woman, and then now following Cynthia G and learning so much about black male pathology and that how these went, and just being on Facebook, just being on social media, and seeing how these females really think about black women, like these women who are not black, and I'm including biracial women because I don't consider them black either. Cynthia G says that, and I agree with her that they're not black. They are something else. They're not us. It's just clear, point blank. You're mixed. You're biracial. You have a white parent and a black parent. So you're not me. I have 2 black parents. So all these non-black women, they don't give a fuck about black women. And we're always throwing the cape on. I'm in the comment section. You got all these dark-skinned black women feeling sorry for her and feeling sad. And I'm just like, I don't know if she would be worrying about us, though. And even when she was alive, it's like, was she always throwing it in our face that she could get this guy and that guy? And, that could drive a dark-skinned black woman, or a black woman to suicide. To constantly be told you're not pretty enough, you're not good enough, nobody wants you, nobody wants to marry you, you're not marriage material, you're not, the best you can do is carry someone's babies and be a baby mama. It's like that kind of stuff on top of being a single mother, because the black men always leave, the black males, they're not men, but the black males always leave. That's enough to drive you insane. But yet our suicide rates in the black woman sphere is very low. Despite the fact that we have the highest domestic violence rates, and we had the high, I don't know if we still do, I think white women are taking the lead in this now, or non-black women, but we used to have the highest single mother rates, all of that. We have the highest poverty rates, etc., etc. You see article after article basically telling black women, you're crap. Nobody wants you. Like, that's basically what they're saying. They're always trying to word it in a different way, but they're basically always saying, why aren't black women married? Why aren't they getting married? They're basically saying nobody wants us, and they're putting it on blast in these national, media outlets. At the time it was magazines, now it's online. And, it's just constantly like this question, and why we're not getting married. Because you brought us over here from Africa, took us from our culture, ran a campaign for 400, 500, 600 years to make sure black women and black men did not want to be with each other. And to this day, you go on TV, you will not see a black couple. Like, it's so hard to find one. Everybody else, like, if you look at a commercial and they have like 3 couples, everybody else is with their race except black people. It's either going to be a black woman with a white guy or a black man with a white woman or an Asian woman or some bullshit. They're never going to have a black couple and then put a white woman, blondie, with an Asian guy and then a Latina with a white guy. You know, they never mix up everybody else's races. We're the only ones that can't be with our own race. And then you wonder how psychologically that plays a role. And then you want to go and play games and be like, why aren't they black people? Why aren't black women getting married? Well, because you locked all our men up. You put drugs in our community, so they're all drugged up and dead. You gave us the gang banging culture, so everyone's killing each other. Why don't you ask that question, Whitey? Nobody knows the answers better than you, because you created this bullshit. We were in Africa living our best lives. You came over there and snatched us out of what was naturally our natural environment and put us in Blackistan, and then you want to know why we're not getting married? This is why. Because we're traumatized, and we're in an environment that's not natural for us, and so we're not acting like we naturally should. Because before then, all you saw was a king and a queen. You always saw black man, black woman, side by side, always together. Do you see that with white people stuff back in the day? No, you don't. They always got no clothes on and playing with little kids. Don't get me started. So let me try to stay on topic. Another thing I noticed with this young lady in her Facebook messages is that she kept talking about guys. Honey, you're going to have to... I can't even talk to her because she's not here anymore. So I'm going to speak to women who are still around. Hopefully you get this message and it helps somebody. But you cannot find your happiness in a man. You're not going to. You have to find your happiness from yourself. If you're not doing well mentally, you need to get well. Like, you need to get on medication and you need to do what you got to do to get healthy for yourself. Then you have to take care of yourself before you can take care of your children. So once you take care of yourself, then you can be a good mother to your kids. But your happiness has to be coming from within first. And I know that sounds very cliche, but that's real. It sounds cliche because it's true. That's just real talk. You can't be looking for no man. I haven't been with anybody, like, even when I was with my ex-fiance, we basically were not together. He stopped coming home like a year before I moved out from with him in Baltimore, and I haven't been with anybody since. And I've never been happier. Like, I know it's because I'm older, and you're just built a different way when you get to a certain age, but I've never been a woman who always needed a man around. I've just never been that woman. I've always had a guy around because I'm pretty and there's always a guy to be around, but I've never seeked it out. Like, I never really needed it. It was just kind of always just there, like some guy trying to wife me or become a relationship with me or whatever. And I'm just like, okay. And I would just kind of go along with it. This is the first time where I really am like, you know what? I'm about my 5 kids and I'm almost I have to hide out so that guys can leave me the F alone. So I can just focus on my children and live my best life. And I seriously have never been more at peace than now. And so I'm giving advice that I really live by. You're not going to find your happiness in a man. All they're going to do is make you unhappy. You can't come to somebody and be not whole. I hate seeing that when people are they're not even happy. They're looking for someone else to make them happy. It's just so annoying to me. And this kind of reminds me of that episode I watched with Tanisha Talks, and she was talking about people not being emotionally, mentally stable and financially stable to be having babies. Well, you need to not be in a relationship either. And that's what I said, because people come into relationships with all their baggage, and your baggage can be your emotional baggage, your mental baggage, your financial baggage. You could have debt, you could be living with trauma, you could have depression, etc., etc., etc. You need to work on yourself before you even get into a relationship. You need to work on yourself before you even get married. Because if you're not on point and strong within yourself, it's too easy. I think it's almost like human nature, to be honest. But it's too easy for someone to prey on you. Predators can spot a weak woman a mile away. They can spot an easy lick a mile away, and they will turn, especially the narcissists. Oof, they radar be up. I don't know what they be seeing, but they see it, and they get with you, and all they're gonna do is make your life a living hell. they're going to make your life 20,000 million times worse. So if you can't cut it on your own, you attaching yourself to a man who does not have your best interest at heart, which is usually the case, you're going to do nothing but go downhill from there. And at that age that she's at, it's really hard to bounce back from that. Like, it's hard to deal with guy crap on top of being a mom, on top of her own mental health baggage, like whatever, because no one knows what her mental health was about, her depression. It could have came from being molested as a young girl. It could have came from abandonment issues. Her dad left her when she was little. Her mother was on drugs and left. It could have been so many other things that she brought into motherhood and into her relationships. So you just carrying all this baggage around. And yes, I agree with Tanisha Talks for what she said, but I wouldn't exactly run around saying having no kids is a flex. It's really not. It's not something to aspire to be having. Let's keep it a buck. Nobody's aspiring to not have kids. Like, it's just not, like, that's not the way the world is set up. We only have a short lifetime that we get to live on this earth, and that's it. And so if you don't have children, you don't continue. That's the only way to remain immortal, is to have children and hope they have kids and keep going and keep going. That's the only way you're going to live forever. So to sit here and pretend like not having kids is so great, if it was so great, you wouldn't be talking about it. Because I don't make videos walking around making videos saying having kids is so wonderful. I have kids because I wanted to have kids. And I love my sons, and I love spending time with them. I just came from the playground. It was a blast. My sons are my life, and there's articles and studies that prove that mothers make their kids number one priority in their lives. And so we're happy because we're basically living what we want to have. I'm a suburban mother, a stay-at-home mom. This is what I wanted, like, my whole life, was to be a mother. So if you don't want to have kids, you don't want to have kids. That's what you want to. You don't want to have kids, but nobody else needs to hear about your plans. Like, I don't know why the rest of us need to hear that you're not having children. Like, she could have talked about a million different topics and it would have been great. And she could have still brought a lot of great knowledge to the community. And her having children really wouldn't have made any kind of difference to me. I see a lot of YouTubers on YouTube creators on YouTube. And I don't know if they have kids. Some of them do, and you don't even know it. They look like they don't have kids, and then they'll have like a kid. It's like you ever see a kid in the background, or they may mention their child, but it's just not something that you run around talking about. Like, you either do or you don't. It's like being married. Like, who cares? Marriage is not a badge of honor. Like, you're either married or you're not. Like, this one lady was just saying she's married and she feels like a single mom. And Cynthia has a name for that. It's called, I forget what it's called, but it's brilliant. It's like, yeah, I felt like a single mom. When I was married, my husband wasn't even there. He was in the military and stationed overseas somewhere. So for like 2 years, I was by myself, doing everything alone. And it wasn't his fault, but still, who cares whose fault it is when you're the one dealing with postpartum depression and you're stuck with 2 small children in the house. So, it's just Black women right now. YouTube is like really weird. I feel like it's a lot of people low key trying to put each other down. And as usual, I'm the type of woman, like, I really don't do drama. So I just don't have anywhere to go with that. Like, I really don't know what to tell people. I'm just like, I'm going to speak my truth, and that's it. I'm trying to help others. I'm trying to be a voice to help other women that I can hope to uplift them and give them some advice that might save lives, that might help you be a better woman, a better mother, a better girlfriend or wife, a better Black woman. I'm just basically offering my wisdom to the world, and people have told me to do this. So I almost feel like it's a calling, it's like something I felt propelled, like I had to do this. Almost like a calling. Like, if I don't do this, I'm not following what God wants me to be doing on this earth. Like how I feel like Cynthia's doing the Lord's work. There's a lot of women who's doing the Lord's work, and I just want to be another voice to help the Black community and Black women. I feel like I agree with this one guy. He's gay. His name is, I think it's Ayan X, Aayans. And he was saying that we need more Black women YouTube creators who uplift Black women. And I completely agree. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing now. Because we do need that. And y'all might be like, well, you're putting her down. But like I said, she's not Black to me. Biracial women do not need me to uplift them. I'm more along the lines of Chrissy. Like, I uplift dark-skinned Black women primarily, and then all the other Black women. A lot of stuff I talk about is for all Black women, but I'm primarily here for dark-skinned Black women because they are treated the worst in this country. Dark-skinned Black women and dark-skinned Black girls are treated the absolute bottom. So I'm not here to uplift other people up over my own group. I'm just not going to. I love myself too much. Like, I'm just not going to do that. I'm not here to uplift Black males. I'm not here to uplift light-skinned females who have everybody uplifting them anyway. I'm not here to uplift biracial females and biracial male. I'm not here for anyone else for dark-skinned Black women. And of course, like, as a collective, I would like to sometimes help all women, but I'm here to help dark-skinned Black women first. So I'm not trying to be mean to anyone, but I feel like everybody else already has enough uplifting from TV, media, Black men, white men, whoever. Everybody else is getting uplifted all over the place. Dark-skinned Black women, no. No support like that. We try to have campaigns for ourselves. We're the only ones uplifting ourselves. Black women are the only ones uplifting dark-skinned Black women. And dark-skinned Black women are the only ones uplifting dark-skinned Black women. And so because of that, I'm going to be a voice as well to help uplift dark-skinned Black women. So when I see stories like this, I'm just like, yeah. So this is interesting because they're calling her Black, but she's not Black. She's not Black. She is not Black, so it's really not my problem. So I feel like that's something that biracial community needs to be dealing with. That's a problem for biracials. Oh, sorry, 1 second. I'm a firm believer that the biracial people need to have their own community. I feel like everybody needs to just separate. We're not doing well blending together. Dark-skinned Black women never win when we blend ourselves together, just like Black people don't win when we blend ourselves with non-Black people. It's just, no. I'm totally for biracial people not being called Black, because a lot of them don't want to be called Black. And even the ones that do, oh well, you're not Black. And I think that they should come out of our group and be there. I think they should go on, biracial should go on to be having their own group. And I would not miss it. I just wouldn't. We don't have any biracial people in our family. We only have like one biracial person. We have one biracial person in the family. He's related to my sons. Of course, he has a Black dad. So he's coming from my ex and his white ex-wife that he was with. So, yeah. Otherwise, everybody in my family, they marry and procreate with Black people. So I'm just like, so far removed from it. But let me know what you guys think about this story and what I had to say. I know I'm not going to be making a lot of fans on that one, I guess. I don't know. But that's just how I feel. And I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to pretend like I'm feeling some type of way that I'm not feeling. Her kids, I'm sure, will be fine. I thought it was interesting, too, that she said not to let the fathers get the kids. But that's childish way of thinking. Of course, they're going to get the kids if they want their sons, their fathers. That's just how it is. It sucks, but that's real life. So some things you just have to deal with it. because nobody, I don't know what kind of fathers they are, what kind of people they are. They might be into drugs, whatever. So I'm sure, they'll figure that out. The courts or whomever will figure it out if they're not supposed to be with them, or maybe they should be with grandma or someone else. To say that message is just not realistic. They're going to go with their fathers first and foremost. So it's unfortunate, but that's how the system works. So yeah, leave some comments below. Let me know what you guys think about this, about everything I said, about the story. It is sad. It is sad, but there's a lot of black women dying, dark-skinned black women dying that no one is crying over. And unfortunately, those are the ones I have to speak for because no one else will. I wanted to talk about this story more as a teachable moment. But yeah, so make sure to like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.